Coming up, an update on the sale of Mercy Hospital in Iowa City. And later, the University of Iowa hosts a prestigious book fair.
The Hawkeyes travel to Camp Randall to battle with the Badgers for the Heartland Trophy.
Well, handy because more rain is on the way.
All that and more coming up on this Friday morning edition of DITV News.
Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now.
Good morning and thank you for tuning in live to DITV and KRUI 89.7 FM.
I'm AJ Reister.
And I'm Jordan Tovar. The Iowa Court of Appeals is upholding their decision for the conviction of Christian Bahena Rivera. Rivera was found guilty of murdering University of Iowa student Molly Tibbetts in 2018. He appealed his conviction by claiming that self-incriminating statements were made before his Miranda rights were read to him. The court ruled against Rivera, saying he wasn't in custody at the time, so his statements were valid for the court. Mercy Iowa City announced that their hospital has been bought by bondholder Preston Hollow Community Capital. The University of Iowa's $20 million bid for the hospital was topped by Preston Hollow. Preston Hollow is a private equity company based out of Dallas, Texas, and partnered with American Health Systems from Glendale, California. The companies plan to restore the hospital and continue operations. University of Iowa hospitals and clinics will get $800,000 resulting from the bidding procedures. Now, AJ, I've got to tell you, I was pretty ill prepared this morning, and it was raining and I forgot my umbrella.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Jordan, but I remembered to bring my rain jacket, so hopefully you'll be able to go out with, well, maybe we can find an umbrella for you so that you don't get as wet on your way out of the door.
Well, let's find out if I'm going to need it later. We're going to send it out to Noah for the weather.
Thanks, Jordan. I'm currently live at the Adler Journalism Building where it is 56 degrees. Looking at today's forecast, we can expect a high of 66 and a low of 54 with scattered showers throughout the day ending later tonight. Tomorrow will be dry with a high of 56 and a low of 48. Expect some winds coming our way. Looking at the week ahead, we can expect some cloud coverage with temperatures ranging in the mid to upper 50s down to the low 40s. Midway through the week on Wednesday, the temperature will break back up into the 60s, bringing along with it another chance for some rain showers in the area. That's all I have for weather. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Noah. The United States House of Representatives attempted to vote in a new Speaker of the House last night. We have DITV News Director Ashley Wheel live in the newsroom this morning. Ashley, what can you tell us about what this process has entailed?
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. After one failed attempt to get enough votes, Representative Steve Scalise of Louisiana has rescinded his bid for running for Speaker of the House. This means he will no longer be trying to get enough votes and that the House is still without a Speaker.
Our conference still has to come together and is not there. There are still some people that have their own agendas, and I was very clear. We have to have everybody put their agendas on the side and focus on what this country needs. This country is counting on us to come back together.
The U.S. House of Representatives needs a speaker to replace former Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy was removed from the position of Speaker of the House after Representative Matt Gaetz led a motion to remove him, and the House voted to remove him as well. Matt Gaetz accused McCarthy of not staying true enough to his word.
Now, what does this mean for the U.S. House that they are still without a Speaker?
Yeah, Jordan, this means that the House cannot pass any legislation currently. This means that people are scared that this could mean a potential government shutdown come November, as well as not being able to send support and aid to Israel. Back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. And police forces around the country are on high alert as former leader of Hamas, Khaled Mashal, has designated today as the, quote, Day of Jihad, asking Muslims to take to the streets with a message of anger. This comes after Hamas's surprise attack on Israel over the weekend, which left 1,200 people dead, as well as an Israeli counterattack that followed in Gaza that so far has killed over 1,300 people. Mashal has also called on neighboring Muslim countries such as Lebanon, Syria, and Egypt to join their fight against Israel. And U.S. officials have become concerned that these neighboring countries will answer the call and come to the aid of Hamas in Palestine. Stay tuned to DITV for further updates as the conflict goes on. The Iowa Department of Education just announced that they have approved nearly 19,000 students' first education saving accounts. All were approved before the program close date. However, the department did disclose that they had to deny 6,000 applications based on not meeting household income requirements, and another 5,000 were rejected due to duplicates or from being withdrawn. Sioux, Scott, Lynn, and Polk counties were all granted over 1,000 saving accounts. The Iowa City High School School District's program called the Student Build House is back and allowing sophomore, junior, and senior students real experience in the trades. Teacher John Reynolds helped with some of the introductory programs and now instructs the class.
It has a long history, but the district hasn't had this program for quite a few years, definitely over 10. And now it's getting a resurgence. A lot of this is due to the fact we really need a lot of people in the trades right now. So we've, over the last few years, tried to build up some programs to get to this point where we can have a capstone class like this.
The Student Build House program also assists high schoolers in obtaining careers during and after their education. By the end of the school year, the students will have built a new affordable house in the Iowa City area. A new midwifery program opened at the University of Iowa's hospitals and clinics. This program is the first in the state of Iowa and second across the whole nation.
New midwifery program here at the University of Iowa's hospitals and clinics. This program is the first in the state of Iowa and the second across the whole nation. This addition to the wide array of medical training programs will make Iowa even more attractive to future Hawkeyes looking to become more skilled in reproductive health. Lastasia Coleman, certified nurse, midwife, and clinical instructor here at the UI, is excited for what's to come with the introduction of the midwifery program.
We need more midwives. And so, we're hoping to train most of our students to be from Iowa and to stay in Iowa, but we're definitely, glad to be able to offer spots in our program to people from some of the surrounding states.
Granting this opportunity to Iowa students gives them another career option as well as access to additional experience they might not have gotten in the past.
Big Grove Brewery is continuing its expansion towards Iowa City's east side. The Hop Lot is the name of the new project, which will be located at the former Goodwill on Liberty Drive. The site plans to be an increase in space compared to Big Grove, allowing for larger and newer equipment. 20 co-workers are going to work the production facility, and they are brewing current fan favorites from Big Grove, such as Jam Sour, Citrus Surfer, and the Eddy family. By the end of next year, they hope to create 5 new jobs and increase their production by 50%. Writers, artists, and more return to an annual book festival that holds a prestigious honor. DITV reporter Sophia Schultz has more on the festival.
This week has been Iowa City's annual book festival, presented by Iowa City's UNESCO City of Literature. The programming for this festival began on Sunday, October 8th, and will be running until this Sunday, October 15th.
This annual festival has been around since 2009, since Iowa City earned its special UNESCO distinction. Iowa City is one of only 3 North American cities to hold such an honor.
It means there are opportunities to hear from authors that come in to live, work, teach, and present here. But it also means there are opportunities for people who live, work, teach here to share their work internationally.
There are many events held all around the downtown area as well as on the university campus. The festival boasts more than 30 programs that include writers, speakers, educators, and artists. Many of them are graduates of the university's writing programs and have come back to share their works with the community. Most of these events are free and open to the public, in addition to a few ticketed events, to make it as open to the community as possible.
Being able to come to events like tonight and hear the author talk about it helps me appreciate the work a lot more.
Particularly excited about the local book fair that they're going to do at the end of the week. I think it's really fun to read local authors.
It's not too late to check out these events as we head into the weekend. From Prairie Lights in Iowa City, I'm Sophia Schultz, DITV.
Thanks, Sophia. And a predicted veterinarian shortage has been affecting clinics around Iowa City. Mars Veterinary Health conducted a study in August concluding that there will be a shortage of approximately 24,000 veterinarians by 2030. Dr. Susan Oliver from Animal Clinic Inc. says that veterinarians wanting to work less hours may be one of the biggest factors to this trend.
Locally, there's been some shortages, both emergency clinics and other local clinics having less doctors or closing. So yes, it has affected, yeah.
Veterinaries will remain open but are still in need of staff to work.
As the Hawkeyes and the DePaul Blue Demons gear up for an exciting face-off at the historic Kinnick Stadium, it's time to check out the weather forecast. On Sunday, the weather is expected to stay dry with temperatures ranging from a low of 44 degrees to a high of 55. By the 2 p.m. tip-off, it will be around 54 degrees and cloudy, so fans, be prepared and dress accordingly for the game.
AJ, I'm hoping that rain stays away from Wisconsin because the Hawkeyes are going to need all the help they can get when they get set to take on the Badgers.
Absolutely, Jordan. This Wisconsin team is absolutely going to be a difficult one for the Iowa Hawkeyes. And it's going to be a really important game as well, as this one is going to possibly decide who will be going to Indianapolis for the Big Ten Championships in December. So let's preview this upcoming game with the DI's weekly pregame show before the kickoff with a breakdown of the Badgers.
This is a historic rivalry between two teams that are always battling for the Big Ten West crown. But this year, it's a brand new coaching staff as Luke Fickell, formerly from Cincinnati, is in. I spoke with Chrissy Birdsell of the Badger Herald and WSUM Sports about the new Badgers.
Yeah, there's been a lot of differences to basically the entire coaching staff since Luke Fickell has came in. And it's been a process, and there's building blocks. As we've seen the first couple of weeks, they've had some struggles getting everything together, but now they're starting to develop that system a little bit more, get into a rhythm in their plays, and that was very apparent a few weeks ago against Purdue, where it felt like that offense was finally starting to click.
One thing that has stayed the same, though, is this Badgers' dominant run game. Despite going more air raid, Wisco still has 15 rushing touchdowns on the year, and they rank in the top 20 in the nation in rushing yards. And that's all because of the genetic monster Braylon Allen. Allen is in his third year with the Badgers. It's very likely that he will eclipse over 3,000 career yards in this game against the Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, when you look back to the Ron Danes, the Melvin Gordons, you definitely see those glimpses of that continued success in the running back core. And Braylon Allen, he was named to the Athletics Freaks list in the beginning of the year, and I think that's a great way to describe him, is that he is just a freak athletically. He's got the speed and he's got the power, but one thing I really like from him is he's become a lot more shifty. He's not afraid to move laterally behind his line to find those open gaps and then break off into the open spaces, and I think that's been an improvement over his first 3 years here, and you'll definitely see that a lot during Iowa.
You can catch the rest of Before the Kickoff on the Daily Iowa website and on their YouTube page. But now switching back to the Iowa Hawkeyes with new quarterback Deacon Hill, the Iowa offense has certainly seen a lot of new changes. DITV sports reporter Sarah Gala asked Iowa students what their thoughts on the new offense.
And with the devastating news of Cade McNamara being out for the rest of the season, come along with me to interview students about their thoughts and opinions about the backup QB.
You know, he has some good arm strength, I will say, but he's got to work on the accuracy a little bit. But I think he has potential.
He's got a lot of potential. I think that first game was just a little bit of like a warm-up for him. I think he'll do great next time.
In the Iowa versus Michigan State game, McNamara tore his ACL and has a long recovery ahead of him.
Yeah, obviously, everyone's going to be upset by it, but I think we got a great coaching staff that we battle through those things.
I mean, McNamara's good, but I think, you know, it's next guy up. When guys go down, you got to have someone replace them.
As the Hawks play the Badgers this upcoming Saturday, it is a big game for Deacon as he transferred from Wisconsin in the spring of 2023.
I'm excited to see my guys. It's been a while, but I'm not going to make it anything bigger than it is. You know, it's another game.
So hopefully we rout them, but it's a matter of us putting up points.
I expect us to win. Go in there and take care of business like normal.
Looking ahead of the season, these students still have high hopes for much success and a potential trip to the Big Ten Championship.
Yeah, the West is wide open. All you got to do is just keep winning the games any way you can find.
And let's get excited to see what Deacon can add to the field for the rest of the season. From the University of Iowa, I'm Sarah Galla, DITV Sports.
Thanks, Sarah. And the men's basketball team is gearing up for their new season, but they lost a lot of key players last year. They lost Connor McCaffrey and Philip Abracha to graduation last year, and their top scorer, Chris Murray, to the NBA draft. But head coach Fran McCaffrey is very excited to see what his new freshmen and transfers can do for him this year.
The two freshmen, but then also the two transfers, Ben Cricky and Evan Bronze. So when we recruited those guys, we recruited them with the expectation that they were going to play. In summation, this group, and those guys in particular, probably make us the deepest team we've had in quite some time.
We'll see if Fran is right, as the Iowa Hawkeyes will take on Quincy on October 30th for an exhibition game. They will open the regular season against North Dakota on November 7th. Both of those games will be in Carver Hawkeye Arena. And now going to the Iowa soccer team, they took on Northwestern yesterday in a crucial Big Ten matchup that could decide which team is going to the Big Ten tournament here in just a couple of weeks. Kicking off, the Northwestern Wildcats opened the scoring at the 17:41 mark. It was Emma Phillips with a redirect pass from Josie Alessino to get the scoring going. And then just 15 minutes later, it was the Iowa Hawkeyes' Maggie Johnson with an absolute rocket off her right foot from Ellie Otto to answer and tie the game up at 1. But not much later in the second half, it was 23 minutes into that second half, Northwestern got the game-winning goal. It was Ellie Haase with a header from Meg Bodie to get the win. The Northwestern Wildcats improved to 8-4-3 on the season. The Hawkeyes dropped to 8-3-3. Now taking a look at the Iowa volleyball team, they're getting ready to have a huge weekend with games against multiple conference foes. DITV Sports reporter Vivian Samoski is live inside Carver Hawkeye Arena with more about the Hawkeye volleyball team.
That's right, AJ. The Lady Hawkeyes will play number 13 Penn State on tonight and then Michigan State on Saturday. Iowa enters the weekend with an 8-10 overall record and yet have to win a game in conference play this season. But their opponents from Happy Valley have yet to lose a game with a perfect 6-0 record. And a milestone could be set this weekend as fifth-year transfer Caitlin Butner is only 14 kills away from reaching the 1,000 mark over the course of her career. And even though I'm live inside Carver Arena right now, they do play at Extreme Arena. Back to the studio, AJ.
Thanks, Vivian. That Hawkeye volleyball team is certainly going to be a fun one to watch despite their recent struggles. But like you said, Caitlin Butner has been amazing for this team. Can't wait to see him this weekend. But speaking of another very incredible women's team, the Iowa field hockey team is traveling to Indiana to try and bounce back after losing to Northwestern last Friday. The Hawkeyes are currently 10-2 overall and 2-2 in conference play, which puts them at 5th in the Big Ten standings. At one point this season, the Lady Hawks were undefeated and ranked number 1 in the nation. For the Hoosiers, they come into the game today with a record of 5-8 and are coming off of a 1-0 loss to Louisville on Tuesday. Although their season hasn't been the best, they have a great opportunity to knock off a shaky Hawkeye squad. Now, Jordan, there's a lot of games going on this weekend. Some very big games recently with the Iowa soccer team losing to Northwestern last night. Field hockey and volleyball team have a lot of Big Ten tournament implications coming up this weekend. Not to mention the football team taking on Wisconsin in a trophy game. It's certainly going to be a fun weekend of sports.
Certainly a very exciting weekend.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Yep.
And as Halloween grows closer, the pumpkin boat journeys grow longer. You heard that right. Missouri man Steve Kenny has officially set the new world record for the longest voyage by pumpkin boat, traveling 38.5 miles down the Missouri River. The boat weighed 1,300 pounds and the ride took nearly 11 hours. Now that is definitely a new way to show some Halloween spirit.
Absolutely, Jordan. I don't know if I'd be brave enough to do something like that to celebrate Halloween, but kudos to him. I mean, would you ever do something like that, riding in a pumpkin down a river?
I don't think I have the guts to, AJ.
Well, we can't thank you enough for watching the show today. Be sure to go to the Daily Iowa website and the Daily Iowa YouTube for all of our upcoming shows and segments. For DITV, I'm AJ Reister.
And I'm Jordan Tovar. Have a great day.